Hello everybody, it's MicheleMarieDalene. Hail Mary me to you and your family and your friends too. And today we're going to talk about a couple things. Some exciting, some not. So let's start with the boring shit first, and then we'll go to the more interesting. I found out an interesting twist that the reason why sometimes our composite video outputs do not look that good. It's because normally when I get done saving a project in Final Cut Express, I go export as a QuickTime movie. And I didn't realize that two things were happening, and they potentially fixing one may fix the other. But what I want to tell you is a good point to go through when you're exporting a video and checking your settings. In fact, I found out there's a reason why I can save some time and number of tomes needed when exporting video. First of all, export your video as DV. Now, do you want to export it as interlaced or not interlaced? It's really up to you. I exported the video from with Dory, my birthday video. We exported that as not interlaced or progressive, and that looked okay, but we had a problem with it because we saw that there was some artifacing video noise on the video, but again, we also had it plugged into the composite TV, and it may have messed up the impedance enough that it was causing picture problems. You'll notice that for this video that we are not using the impedance or the composite monitor right now, but that's because I kind of wanted to have a fair test. So anyway, let's get back to the export here. So when I normally click export to QuickTime, as far as I normally am concerned, or I thought, it was exporting it at the highest quality necessarily available. No, it wasn't. In fact, it was exporting it at not quite as good as I'd like it to have it support. It was like doing 384 by 240. And I said to myself, but why? I'm shooting at 720 by 576. Why are you only exporting it that way? When I really means I'm losing half my resolution, if not more than half. So I went into the export, and I manually tweaked the setting, which you saw on the Dory video with my birthday. We exported the video and specifically told it to export it as progressive DV resolution PAL of 720 by 576. That meant that there was going to be less likeliness of interfacing and noise being introduced. But I think that using the QuickTime built-in interlaced to progressive conversion didn't help much. And on an iPhone, you really can't tell the difference. Because, I mean, maybe some of the newer iPhones you can, but the iPhone 4S you can't really. So, yeah, you might see some differences, but nothing really to brag about. But when you watch it on my video monitor, and both the raw DV file output from this and the finished MP4, of course, MP4, I usually extract it at 50% quality, so that means that, yeah, you're not going to gain anything, but there is a limitation of just how far I can go when you only get a 1 megabit per second up on the data rate on your home internet. So you don't really have a lot of, it takes a long time to upload video, so you have to make a trade-off somewhere. So I'm going to be experimenting with some newer concepts for making sure we get the quality up to you. I mean, I always convert interlace to progressive anyway. So that I usually use MPEG Stream Clip to take the raw stock footage, which was originally extracted as a QuickTime movie, and then sent to the other system. But given my research shows me now that using the QuickTime movie without manually massaging the settings is not a good idea. Unless you're willing to accept what comes out of your decoder. It's not going to be, or encoder is not going to be anything that I would call great. Now, so to keep that in mind when you're working with computer stuff, is sometimes you have to tweak things, especially because after a while people kind of forget and they wonder why the picture. You can spend thousands of dollars on a video camera and then they really wonder why their camera output on YouTube looks like crap. And I wasn't expecting that, and I was like, oh. I said, I didn't think I had to change that. Because I was using the same, apparently I've been using the same messed up settings for years, and I never really thought about it. Okay, now let's get to the next topic. Adapt 2030 talked a bit about the latest Ice-ageddon. Oh, we don't have a Snowgeddon, we have an Ice-ageddon, okay? It got really cold, you know that, here in New England, and up in the Adirondacks of New York State, it got down with a wind chill down to 114 degrees below 0 Fahrenheit, or minus 79 degrees Celsius. That is wicked cold for a wind chill. Even the Scott Amundsen base in condition 0 doesn't quite usually get below 100 degrees Fahrenheit below 0, which is still pretty brutal, seriously. So obviously that was a very significant issue, and we're only talking about 1,400 meters above sea level, so give that some thought, okay? Now, or 1.4 kilometers if you really want to get a little bit less precise, but okay. So what Adapt 2030 is trying to point out, and it's something I told you 2 years ago, the weather's changing, okay, and it's going to keep changing, and I keep telling you that. And I need to be sure to be safe, stay warm, and stay dry. And that's why I say that thing, along with other things. But the most important thing is just that. I want you to be aware of what's going on so you can be safe. I want you to enjoy your years on this earth. And to do that, you also need to stay warm. After all, humans are, unfortunately, mammals. And, well, we are at the mercy of weather, and there's nothing worse than just wicking away your body heat than being wet. So obviously that's why I say stay dry, because if you're dry, it's easier to stay warm, which is necessary for you to stay safe. Okay? Now, so yeah, things are changing. Things are changing quickly. The world, I'm talking about the meteorological part of the world, is not the same as it was 20 years ago. The IPCC can go suck eggs because they are incorrect. They're trying to still say now that this excess carbon dioxide is causing global cooling. That is absolute positively baloney. And I never heard of any reason how anybody could support and subscribe to such claptrap. It doesn't make any sense, okay? It's illogical, as Mr. Spock would say. It's illogical. It doesn't make any sense. You can't tell me that all this climate change is, in this case, negative climate change. At least they changed not even global warming to climate change. At least that's good. At least I can still say, yes, there's climate change. And it's not positive climate change. It isn't minus it's climate change. It's going to get globally cooler, not warmer. Because the sun, that big ball of fire in the sky, that big fusion reactor, which provides almost every single bit of our Earth's heat and light, either directly or indirectly, right now is less sunspot activity going on. Is when the sun burps out those sunspots that you get those bursts of refilling energy that helps push things along and keeps things warmer. Now, we haven't had serious global warming in over 14 years, and yet they keep pushing. IPCC keeps pushing the same bullshit. I told you that 2 years ago. It's bullshit, and it is. Okay? But they keep pushing it. Because they want to tell us that we gotta cut our carbon footprint. Here's the thing that they're not thinking about. There are plants that need our carbon dioxide from our breath, okay? And the carbon dioxide from our industries. And they need it to help produce carbohydrates from the plant, which later becomes food for us. You don't give them enough O2, or enough, in this case, enough CO2, they can't produce carbohydrates. They can't produce carbohydrates for the plant through photosynthesis. The plant's going to die. If the plant dies, we don't eat. Okay? So there seems to be trying to say we gotta go with we're gonna have to go with a low carbon footprint, a high O2 footprint, and everything's great. Yeah, okay, but have you ever considered the fact is that by doing what you're doing with the different things such as the Agenda 2030 and Agenda 21 and the Kyoto Principle, Kyoto Protocol, and all these other organizations, is you're actually going to hasten our end, not help us to survive this. We're not even focusing on global cooling, and this is what we should be focusing on. You just want to throw ice again over here in New England. You know what I'm talking about. Just in Boston, minus 9 degrees Celsius? Shit! You want to talk about... No, it was not minus 9 Celsius. That was minus 9 degrees Fahrenheit. Right. Okay, that's right. This is the reason. Another thing that this country's got to get wrapped their head around. Stop trying to give me the information in two different measurement systems and watch me screw it up. So let me tell you what I think. Let's see, 9 degrees Celsius, 9 degrees Fahrenheit. That's 2 degrees Fahrenheit for every 1 degree Celsius. Ignore that part. Okay, so 5. Okay, so 32. Minus. Minus 9, minus 5. No. What? Now subtract 32. Or in this case, add it together. So minus 5 and no, I guess subtract 9. No. Yes. Wait. Whatever. We'll figure it out. You gotta add it to 27. 37 degrees. Okay, you do that. Okay, minus 5 plus minus 37 degrees equals one hell of a nasty treat. Well, it can't be right. Why? Because if you subtract, minus 5, right? Okay, so minus 5, okay, this is minus 9, right? Yep. So now subtract, now, for every 2 degrees Fahrenheit is 1 degree Celsius. Let's say 5, okay? Now, we have to remember it's below 0, right? Right. So that would mean that minus 27 degrees plus minus 5 is minus... Oh my god. It's cold enough anyway. minus 32 degrees Celsius. Yeah, you're talking some pretty cold temperatures here for Boston when the wind chills are minus 32. Harvard was nasty. Winston. I do know Winston's numbers. It was got down to minus 45. You're talking some really fucking cold temperatures. And that was nasty at Sunday night. Oh man, was it cold. So yeah, it was freezing. There was no doubt about it. And here's the IPCC saying is we're having global warming. I can't see how you could say that. Seriously. Oh, let's not... Oh, yes, by the way, it's good news. Yes, they did cap the leaking gas well in California, in Los Angeles. That's good. But what about all the methane and methane that's already shot out into the atmosphere? What's that going to do? Ha ha! IPCC is going to be looking for every way to use that as an excuse to say, wow, now we can say we're going to have global warming because we just released a whole shitload of methane gas and methane. Really? Oh, excuse me. Well, guess what? That's not the way it's work, honey. Really, it's not. It's just, as I said, it's bullshit. This doesn't make any sense. And they keep doing the same thing over and over again and trying to tell us that we have to get rid of our incandescent light bulbs because they are environmentally bad for you. Guess what? I use incandescent light bulbs in my studio because it's better for my eyeballs. I'm not saying my eyeballs are great. God darn it, I hate to say it. My right eye still sucks. But at least it doesn't hurt when I'm doing my video work. I don't feel like my eyes not getting sunburned when I'm sitting in the studio anymore. This is incandescent light bulbs are, for all intents and purposes, are the more gentle choice for protecting your eyes against cataracts. And I know LEDs are great because I got LEDs too, and I don't have a problem. But the sad truth is I have not seen a PS25 or PS30 LED lamp equal in brightness to a 300 watt incandescent bulb. Now, if there is one, I've never seen it. Okay, the biggest ones I've seen on the market are about 15 watts. Okay, that's equal to 150 watt incandescent, assuming that it's a 1-to-10 ratio. Now, if that's great, but that would mean I need 2 bulbs to equal the brightness of one big PS25 300 watt Sylvania bulb. Now, I'm not going to keep going out there and spending a huge shitload of money on light bulbs and not double and tripling them in the fixture. Come on, give me a break. Okay? Got enough things to worry about. So, obviously, the other things, too, is we already know that, especially for those people who kept pushing the CFLs, I already told you what happened with the eyes in the CFLs. My eyes got killed. My right eye was already hastening along because of cataract, because of age. But that also has been proven, was hastening along by the use of compact fluorescent bulbs that were bare bulb. You put those bare bulbs in my precedence with Dory in her eyes. Her eyes are not my eyes. So I put it in the big bulb in the 85 watt. Which, yeah, it's bright, right? She screamed at me. She said, my eyes are killing me. I feel like I'm getting sunburned. So I took the bulb out. I said, that's exactly why I can't deal with it. That's one reason I couldn't even stare at the thing. And I'm doing videos. I don't have a choice. I gotta look at the camera. And the lights are over here. One above here on this side. One above here on this side. And, of course, you can't see on my arms because the way the camera's set so close so I can focus on my face. But, no matter what, you want to talk about light. You want to talk about energy. You want to talk about efficiency. There is no comparison between the damage that a compact fluorescent light bulb can do to your eyes versus what it does to the environment. I mean, we got this full of mercury. Same thing with standard fluorescent tubes. They're full of mercury too. Okay, it's not a lot. It's a tiny little drop, but it's still there. It's mercury. The ultraviolet rays, depending on how well lamps are made, we're talking about China now. China, as Big Clive has demonstrated, is not known for always doing a good bang-on job, especially if they're trying to save a few bucks here and there. And they're going to make the glass thinner and thinner and thinner and thinner. When you do, one of the things that makes the fluorescent light work is the ultraviolet rays and the UVC that comes from the ionization of the mercury in the tube. That's the kind of shit that can really kill your eyeballs. That's a germicidal lamp. If you find a fluorescent tube with no phosphor on the inside, And if it's, especially if it says, it might say on the tube, germicidal. Don't go crazy using it for fun, okay? If you want to go ahead and put it in the lamp fixture and maybe remote control or pretty quickly turn it on and nuke all the poisons and fleas and ticks and mice and rats in your house, yeah, that'll do it for you, and germs. But you don't want to have your poor cats in the same room because they'll go blind and they'll get sick of radiation poisoning. Same thing with you. So, yeah, it's an idea, but, it's also a safety issue, too. The germicidals are being used in medical buildings such as hospitals and medical research laboratories for that reason, because it kills cells. But if you're trying to, say, light up a video studio, you don't want to kill your guests, do you? No, of course not. You don't want your guests to be uncomfortable. You want your guests to feel at home and ease. Now, if you have lupus or some other skin illnesses, we already mentioned this before. Common fluorescents and fluorescent light are your last thing you want to be stuck with. It causes rash. They can break out. Some people are very sensitive to the flicker rate, especially of many bulbs, even though some of the flicker rate, especially on CFLs, is really high. But a standard 60 watt, American 60 hertz, 120 volt fluorescent ballast is going to make flicker. It might be a little bit too fast for your eyes to pick up, but your brain does. Pick it up and filters it out. But it causes potentially eye fatigue. It also causes people to get physically tired, and it's just makes some people downright cranky. So yeah, that's why we use incandescents in here, and we have been using them in the studio. We do use LEDs. I don't have a problem with the LEDs. Do my LEDs flicker a little bit? Yes, they do. They do flicker a tiny bit, especially the Utilitech in my bedroom does. But it's not in the same league of ouch as far as my eyes are concerned as it is with the fluorescents and CFLs. What's the next topic? Well, you're talking about your eyes. I want you to talk about how your eyes are doing right now. Okay, sure. I was testing my eyes out earlier. The right eye is, sometimes it's good, sometimes it sucks. Right now it's in the kind of, it sucks category without my glasses. With my glasses, you're not going to look so much double vision, are you? No, it's just seeing a big giant cloudiness. Yeah. You seeing a lot of clouds around the light fixtures? No, not too much excessive morning glories around the fixtures, no. Not my right eye, anyway. The left eye is clear. Of course, it would be clear. I mean, my left eye now is better than it's ever been. Okay? And that's the truth. And I have medical documentation from my low vision doctor to tell me that. If my right eye cleared up like my left eye did, I would not be legally blind anymore. I would be a high partial, but I still wouldn't be able to get a driver's license, but I wouldn't be legally blind anymore, which means I'd lose my benefits, which brings up the next topic, Social Security Ponzi scheme, and the reality of what's going on with Social Security. Now, Sherry Jackson, a former IRS employee, addressed this concern, which I watched her video. She dated this video thing around August of 2015, but so it's a little bit old, but I was still mentioned anyway. She said and confirmed everything that I already heard from several sources, that by the by the fourth quarter of 2016, our check will be reduced by 20%. Now, that's a pretty big loss of money for me. In that case, it comes out to be, I will only be bringing home $1,000 instead of $1,232. Now, I'm already having trouble paying bills now. So how in the hell am I going to be able to live on $1,000, pay $700 a month rent, and still have food on the table and pay my electric bill, and I wouldn't even be able to have a cell phone or a house phone. Seriously. I would end up defaulting on all my credit card debts. And the way this one world government's going, this NWO thing, they'll probably throw me in prison just because of debts for insolvency. I'll probably be breaking rocks for the rest of my life in a workhouse. And yeah, they are kind of recreating workhouses again. So yeah, it's very likely you might be sitting in a workhouse doing the worst of the worst. You ever been in a workhouse? No. I know about them, but I've never been in one. I have. I've been there. It sucks. You don't want to end up in a workhouse. Okay, I'll take your word for it, Lou. I was busy trying to support my farm and my ranch with my husband in Montana back then, so I'm not going to go into a lot of argument about something I don't personally know much about. But they're trying to get rid of the bankruptcy protections. Really, they are. However, a couple of congressmen have pointed out and have said that the biggest problem is that we need to bail out the student loans, just like we bailed out the big banks. Because the people who got saddled with the debt went to school hoping they were going to get a job afterwards so they could pay off those loans, and they got no job. They made enough money to pay off the loans, and now the loans basically are looking for blood, and that's what they're going to do. And they're going to garnish people's wages, which is not even enough wages to basically provide for the family's needs in the first place. He said we just should bail them out and just totally tell the Department of Education to just write the loans off. We gave them the money. So it's not like, we're creating the money out of nowhere. We got paid taxes, which help pay the student loans. This was a big editorial of Russian television. I just happened to pick this up after I was reading another story which had nothing to do with that. And then just happened to be, I was kind of interested where the hell this was actually on, which Russian television show. And I watched it, and I was like, yeah, you're right. This is a problem. And that really is, because the student loan debt is going to settle you for the rest of your life. You'll never be able to get a job. You'll never be able to get a car. You can see anyway. But you certainly won't be able to get a house. I mention the jobs because people don't realize that if you go out there and looking for a job, the first thing your employer is going to do, especially if it's a higher paying job, is going to look at your credit score and then determine if you're good with money and responsible. So if you got stuck with a student loan that you can't pay for whatever reason, and you default, and let's say you're trying to get a job, something out of that's in your field of your degree that you went to school for, and they see that you default on student loans, they're going to go, I'm sorry, he's not a good candidate. Toss the resume into the garbage can. We gotta find somebody else. You're not gonna be perfectly qualified, but because your credit score is down in the shitter, you can't even get a job. That's stupid, but that's the way our NWO was working. I got another thing I'd like to ask. Why? And this is something that I keep hearing about the NWO. I'm gonna say this because this is a good point. Why don't I'm trying to keep this polite. I really am, but I'm trying to find the right word for this. Why in the flying fucking hell do you want to control everybody? Don't you have enough trouble just trying to control and raise your families? Do you control your sons and daughters like the way you want to control the rest of the world? I mean, you guys have... What's wrong with just letting people run their own lives the way that they want to run them? I'm not saying if we're breaking the law. I'm saying is if we're trying to live within reason of the law and you're trying to be responsible. But why does the NWO, the Illuminati, want so much to control everybody? It's stupid. I don't understand this. Maybe it's my Asperger's. I'm sorry. I'm going to be honest and say, I don't understand. Why do you want to control everybody's life? Why do you want to micromanage everybody in the world? What's the point? Why do you want this kind of power? It's not that great. I mean, I have enough trouble just trying to manage my own life. Never mind trying to manage everybody else's. You guys want to take on that kind of responsibility? But why? Why do you want to do that? I just don't understand. I'm sorry. It goes way out of my range of understanding. I believe in something similar to the state of New Hampshire's motto: live free or die. I'd rather be able to choose my own career, my own path. I don't want to have somebody else tell me, well, I do make exceptions, but I don't want people constantly telling me what I'm going to do and how I'm going to work and what I'm going to say, that. Okay? It's just stupid. But thanks to artificial intelligence, guess what? More than likely, in a very short time, half the world will not have a job anymore. Isn't it just great? All those computers and robotics are going to take our jobs, and you ain't going to have one. We got no problem now on unemployment globally. Why in the hell are you going to do when all the computers take over your job? Sure, okay, maybe there was a menial job in China, some shop putting little tiny transistors on a tiny little circuit board that usually uses a tiny little monocular, and you basically have to squint and hurt your eyes and stuff on the very bright compact fluorescent cold cathode displays that causes eye strain and eye burn. Yeah, that would suck, isn't it? But the point is, if we're going to have all these computers taking our jobs within the next 20 to 30 years, and already the world is frustrated, hungry, cold, and miserable. And, I mean, business is going, oh, this is great, I can save some money. I don't have to hire the legally blind person on the street. And I don't have to worry about making sure to equal opportunity laws. I got robots. Robots do the job that they're doing. These semi-robots will put these computers together. I don't even have to worry about it. Hey, I save money. I don't have to worry about having additional people with my tax rolls. Oh, that's great, right? No, it's not great. Because unfortunately, that poor guy who you couldn't hire because you didn't want to hire because you wanted a robot to do his potential job is not going to be able to afford to buy your machinery that your robot's making. See, you're not going to be able to make too many of them because you're not going to be selling too many of them. What the hell? Come on. This doesn't make any sense to me. It's like... So, I'd like to ask Alex Jones the same question. I'll send this to him, too, because I know Alex Jones does love to talk about the NWO and conspiracies and things like that. Okay, Alex Jones, here's my question for you specifically. Could you please help answer the question I just asked? Why do the globalists want to control everybody? What do they gain by doing that? What is the reason behind it? I know that they were supposed to be working with the Anunnaki originally to mine gold and all that because the Anunnaki, which were at the time of Samaria, were looking for the precious metal gold for whatever reason. Yeah, okay, but we haven't seen the Anunnaki lately, have you? That doesn't mean they couldn't be around, but I'm just saying is I haven't seen them lately. I haven't seen the reptilians either. But why are we keep trying to push this globalist agenda? I just don't understand it. And you, my audience, can help me answer that question too. I welcome you to answer this question. Please, let's talk. I've been wanting to talk to you about this for a while. And I know that there are people in this world who are saying this is scary. Yes, it is scary. And with the new global new ice age coming, many are possibly a longer than minimum ice age coming. You're going to be seeing some really hard times, and I could definitely see how the globalists could say, declare emergency and say, oh, now we can raise and control everybody because we can shove everybody in FEMA camps and hook up a couple tanks of carbon monoxide and poison them all. Because we got to make sure to get the world population down to 950 million. Well, yeah. But, again, that's... They would say, well, it's better than overpopulation and having them starve to death. We said the same thing about pets. We did the same thing to our dogs and cats. We send them to homeless or animal shelters, and they don't leave. Except in the equivalent of a body bag. That's not what I want to do. What's the reason? Oh, because it's better than letting them starve to death because there's a lack of food. I don't know. We're human beings. My cats are capable of finding their own food, really. But, okay, let's take your mentality. Are you telling me, okay, that you are willing to kill off about, close to 6.5 billion people because you say there's too many mouths to feed, and yet at the same time I am not hearing, and I certainly don't see it on TV, mind you. I haven't watched TV lately. I really might be a little bit behind the times here, but not much. I do not see any TV shows not encouraging sexual promiscuity. If you want Mr. Illuminati to so much control a population in the world and get people to stop making love and stop making babies, then you need to encourage them not to do it. I'm sorry, Zika is not the way to do it. Okay? Maybe it works because people obviously... Do you want your kid to grow up with a shrunken head? Oh, no, nobody wants that. I don't want kids. I'm not interested in kids, but that's because I have Asperger's. I can't handle the responsibility of having kids. I don't like having kids. I hate to say it, guys. I hate kids. Well, sort of. I don't hate kids to the point where I would kill them or anything like that. I just don't want kids, okay? Because they're an expense that I can't afford, okay? It doesn't mean that, I wish any kid ill will. I really don't, but, that's one of the reasons I'm not a parent. Because I would probably be one bad parent for a kid. I don't think I could handle responsibility. It's a lot of responsibility. And, you got to sing on the inside that? Ah, yes, I did. Not know that. No, do I? No, I got it on the right side out. I do got it on the right side. Yeah. Okay. That's good. Because, that'd be kind of embarrassing. Now, next thing we're going to talk about is, well, actually, he's kind of coming by me. Rusty the kitty cat. Gonna come up a little bit? Oh, he's walking around. However, my cat's doing good. He's inside right now. He's kind of getting a little stir crazy because he wants to go back out again. I know him. But I'm really concerned about when he goes outside because of the cold. I really kind of wish I could get my cat to understand he doesn't need to go outside. He's got a cat box here. He doesn't have to go out. Okay, yeah, he's a boy cat. Yes, he's a tomcat. Yes, he's an adult. Yes, he does got bad smelling pee, but at least he goes in the cat box and I wouldn't care in one way or another. And I do let him out when this weather is cooperating. But he insists on going out even when the weather was nasty. And that's scary. I worry about my cat, But anyway, no matter what, my cat is a very, very nice cat. He's very well behaved, and Yeah. My other cat's well behaved too. I'm talking about Fame, of course. Fame is always here. So anyway, I'm going to let you go. Oh, yes. I was going to mention something, but now I'm going to... Oh, yes. Real quick. Dory did not get a chance to go to Boston. Her friend's car had some failures and was not able to take her to Boston. So she may or may not be here next weekend. I don't know yet. And lastly is, yes, I still do plan to get a Raspberry Pi. I am waiting for... I did not realize that... I know today is President's Day, but I did not realize the post office was not open. So, obviously, I didn't get the micro SD card and the micro SD USB reader for my Mac yet. So I will be getting that in a couple days. Probably tomorrow. Hello, kitty cat. Hello. Oh, that's hi. Ah! I'm not trying to hurt you, Fade. This one. Okay, is that better? Yeah. See, he doesn't like really kind of being shot head. I'm sorry. I didn't mean Archie, just yeah, okay, let's go. Alright, anyway, so that's where we go right now. And as I said, don't be afraid to, again, I could use your help with all the bills and things like that. And yeah, oh, by the way, what about the tooth in my mouth? I did do a blog this morning. I did not gonna release it because I thought it looked like crap. Okay, what about my tooth? Well, you know, this morning was loose. And I think it probably is being kind of crowded out by my other teeth that kind of wanted out of there. Well, right now it doesn't feel loose, but doesn't mean it couldn't be. Ready to pop out one way or another. You gotta understand that even though the teeth in your mouth are like a glacial forces, they can still cause things to move. And so, yeah, eventually it's going to have to come out sooner or later anyway because of the situation with the fact that it's only half a tooth and the other half of it's gone. So, but I'm going to need money for that, guys. And I do have a separate crowdfunding site for that purposes, specifically for dental. And we also have the Patreon page, which is for the studio, and of course the crowds GoFundMe page for the YouTube for our YouTube videos. So we have 3 different donation sites, and we also have, of course, the PayPal and the U.S. mail address so we can mail payments to. I could really use your help. And I also would like to still try to get some visitors in the studio, some guests on TV. And I'm also, hopefully someday, if the technology ever improves enough to work, we will be able to watch some nice videos here. Let's see. I want to try to get some potentially go for some new gear someday. That's more sophisticated. Our next project is going to be the Raspberry Pi. I already mentioned that before. I'm not going to rehash it much more than that. But to tell you that I am very much hoping for you to enjoy having a Raspberry Pi and that does your job and that you're happy with. So, for now, I guess that's about the best we can do, and just want to say thank you very much, guys, for watching these videos, and I hope to see you soon, and I'm open to any suggestions, comments, and concerns, gripes, hatreds, yeses, good, whatever that you want to say. I'm going to listen to them, I'll read them, and I will try to answer them in a timely manner. Okay? Okay, guys, that's it for now. See you soon. Bye-bye. Hey, did you know there's a lot more going on right now at our websites? Are you watching all 4 of them? If not, check them out. There's a list right here. We got 3 YouTube channels and 1 audio-only channel for your enjoyment. So come on, dig in and see all the stuff we do here at the North American Snow Queen Palace.